Good morning. I'm glad to be here. So we're going to do something a little bit different from me. Not different for you all, but different for me. Most times when I talk, I give y'all breaks and give y'all times to think. Well, good news, bad news situation. That's not the bad news. Today I'm kind of just going to preach at you. I'm going to talk a lot, but because I know some of my friends like to write notes, the one pages are right here. There's pencils right here. If you want to come up and give a sheet of paper and a pencil, that's on you. I don't really care if you do or you do not. So, now they turn the AC on. Okay, so I learned something new the other day, and we're going to practice it. I was reading that in ancient times, when the reading of the scripture, the congregation would stand out of respect to the scripture that was happening. So we're going to try that today. So we're going to talk about John 5, 1 through 15. You're only going to see 15. I will read it, but as I read it, will you all please stand out of respect for the scriptures? Please and thank you. This is the word of the Lord. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went to Jerusalem. There in Jerusalem, by the sheep gate, a pool in Aramaic called Bethesda, which had 5 roofed colonnades. In these lay a multitude of invalids, blind, lamed, and paralyzed. One man was there who had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him laying there and knew he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" The sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am going, another steps down before me." Jesus said, "Get up, take up your bed and walk." And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and walked. Now that day was the Sabbath. Okay, that goes on to tell y'all can sit down. It fell again. Okay. So, if you haven't read the Bible, which is okay, a lot of people don't, or you haven't read it in a long time, I'm going to give you a suggestion to start with John. The thing that's great about the Gospel of John is it takes you all the way through the life of Jesus and the deity of Christ. This is easy to read, easy to follow through with the stories. There's no background knowledge that you need to have to read the Gospel of John. So, hey, Nate, can we put the first slide up there, please, and thank you? I got it.
You're breathing.
Hopefully I do breathe. Okay, it fell again, but I don't care. Now, after there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. So, if you have noticed, Jesus always goes up to the feast, always goes up there. He's always involved. But one thing I found very, very interesting about this is it doesn't say he went to the temple. It doesn't say that he went to where everybody else was. And in the first couple of signs of Jesus, this is the third sign that Jesus did. The first one was when he turned water to wine. This was the first time where his mother Mary asked him to do it. He gave Mary kind of a sassy response, but then he did it. Okay? The next sign was when the rich ruler came to him and said, "Messiah, heal my son." And Jesus did it. The thing I find very interesting about those two things, and y'all are going to see why they're interesting later, is those people came to Jesus. They did the initial reaction. They were the one pursuing Jesus. But here is where it gets interesting. And here's where it gets more interesting for us. Jesus goes to where the colonnade is. If y'all have noticed, they describe this colonnade, a pool, Bethesda, 5 roofed colonnades, but they never mention the man's name. But they make sure that you know how long he's been there, in 38 years, which is interesting because it doesn't make you think that he was born that way. Because the scriptures where it said he had this since birth. But here, It does not say that. So what makes the next logical step would be it was an affliction he picked up in his life. An affliction that maybe he chose. Maybe alcoholism he chose. Maybe drugs. Maybe approval of other people. Maybe narcissism. Maybe that's an affliction that he chose. Maybe hate. That could be an affliction he chose. Or it could be an affliction that chose him. The scriptures in the history don't really give you what the affliction was, but it does mention that they were blind and lame and paralyzed, and it leads you to believe that this man had been there. So, next, please, Nate. What I think is interesting, go back one more, I'm sorry, is if you notice, it goes from John 3 to John 5. So you're thinking, dang, did the Dr. John just skip a verse? Had an ADD moment? Went 3 to 5? No. The reason that 4 is not there is because it's not important to the story. It's not important, and scholars would talk about like, oh, it was this, it was this. I'll tell you what it was. It describes the pool. It describes that there was this legend. If you can imagine this colonnade, it's like a big stadium where everybody kind of looked down on it, and there's this giant pool in the middle. And the blind and the lame and the paralyzed would just lay around there, hoping to get into the pool. Now, good question. Why do they want to get in the pool? They believed once a year an angel would come, stir up the water, and then the first person who got into the water would be healed of their affliction. That sounds kind of cool, huh? The problem with that is it doesn't compute with what Jesus does it? Next, that right there, the fact that you got yourself into the pool can lead you to believe that you healed yourself. Now, next, why was Jesus even there? And I think it's so interesting, guys, when you look at it, Jesus saw him. Can you just imagine, like, Jesus walks into Reliant and sees the guy like, oh, I see you laying way over there. And he walks over to him. And the thing I see, that the first thing that he asks is, do you want to be healed? Which is interesting because he's been there for 38 years. Wouldn't you say yes? Wouldn't you logically think that that man would say, yes, I want to be healed? That's not what he says. He gives a reason of why he cannot be healed. Let me read it to y'all again. Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am going, another steps down before me. Why it won't work is his first response to being asked, do you want to be healed? So, that takes me to this. What do we think that is going to heal us if we just get it right? You know, if we just read the scripture enough, we'll do it. If we're just nice enough, that'll probably heal us too. If I go to church enough, that'll probably heal me too. If I'm nice to all those people, that'll do it, right? If I give all my money to the poor, that'll heal me. The thing is, no, it won't. So, I'm going to pause there and let y'all think. What in our society do we do that makes us think that we can heal ourselves? Okay. There's your moment to think. Okay. We have a whole TV show, a whole network called Do It Yourself. It's the American way, right? We're Americans. We think we can just go, and if we work hard enough, we'll be able to earn this. We'll be able to be like, okay, I can be successful on my own. I don't need anybody to help me. I can do this. Right? That's what he thinks. He thinks if he can get himself into the pool, he will heal himself. We do it too. Now, we have a whole YouTube channels where they go, hey, here's how you fix your car. Here's how you fix the refrigerator. Here's how you do this. We don't call the professionals first, do we? That's not what we do. We try to fix it ourselves. That's what he wanted to do. But the funny thing is, you can't. You can't fix yourself. You can't heal yourself. There's the afflictions you can't take away. The American way, what am I saying? Y'all can be frustrated with me if I say this, is you can't fix yourself. You need to be fixed, and you can't fix yourself. Now, funny thing is, I say that a lot. Jesus goes to him. Jesus, God-man, steps into it, goes to where the sick are, goes to where the hurting are, goes to people who need help. And he does it. Now, he said, get up, take your bed, and walk. And at once this man was healed. The phrase at once, it doesn't make me think, and the logical step is this, it doesn't make you think like, oh, 2 or 3 days you'll be able to go. It seems like at once the man was ready to go. Ready to jump up, ready to walk again. So close your eyes and think about this. You've been laying there in Reliant for 38 years, hoping that this time you'll be able to get to there. This time you'll be able to get it to the pool. And you just don't make it. But then, this man walks in and says, get up, take your bed, and walk. And you can do it. This man has healed your afflictions. This man has come and taken where you are to where he thinks you should be. Now, it was a Sabbath. Now, if you've been around the church any period of time, there's a long story about the Jews and Sabbath and healing people on the Sabbath and all the good, all the things that they would build up around the Sabbath. This was the beginning of why they disliked Jesus. Now, I'll give you all the backstory. This isn't in there. The Pharisees call this man in and says, it's unlawful for you to carry your bed on the Sabbath. Why are you doing this? The man said, the man who healed me told me to do it. Then they questioned Jesus about this. And Jesus was like, yeah. And then there's a second time, Jesus sees this same man, which I find very interesting. He's never mentioned, name never mentioned. Says a lot. He tells him, go and sin no more. It's interesting. For something worse may happen to you. I think about when I hear that phrasing, I think about it with my kids. I think about it when I use the phrase, do this or I'm going to give you a consequence. Do this or that. The man's already been healed. And I feel like if the situations were reversed, if he said, I'm going to heal you if you do this, the results would be different. Jesus will walk into your life and heal you. But it's not supposed to stay there. The healing is not supposed to be the end. Relationship with Jesus is the end. Now, I have a hard time thinking that this is a threat. It won't be on the screen because I went beyond the lectionary this week. I have a hard time thinking that this is a threat from Jesus. It could be. He's God, I am not. But of his character, I don't think that Jesus is threatening the guy. I think what Jesus is telling him is like, hey, you've been healed from this affliction. Stay away from this so something worse doesn't happen to you. What's super interesting is the man's healed. And he sees Jesus again. What do y'all think his response would be? Do you think he was like, oh no, I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing, laying there? Probably not. So, my question for y'all, and this can be very, very short today, because it's a nice day outside. It is. This is the end. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed from your affliction? Or are you okay living in it? Are you okay being paralyzed, lame, an invalid in the faith? Are you okay being just okay? Or is there something in your life that you're like, God, I want this gone? Because I'm pretty sure the man was there for 38 years. That's a long time. That would be the majority of my life, laying there, stuck, trapped in an affliction. And then one day someone comes and says, do you want to be healed? I just hope my response wouldn't be, no. It's not no. It's a reason why it won't work. So, I told you I was going to be short today. That's the question that you've got to live with today is, do you want to be healed? I'm going to pray, and then we're going to go on. Hold on. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go to our original, my original thought. Okay. There's a great crowd here. Not a great crowd, a crowd. It'd be a great crowd, huh? It'd be interesting. So, I'm going to ask again. And if you do, I've already asked people to do this. They will do it. This is going to take some bravery, y'all. This is going to have to be brave, courageous. Hey, we'll pray for you, and we'll be with you. Do you want to be healed? If you do, and you're in here, and you want some of us to pray for you, you ain't got to jump up and say, oh, it's me, because that's not going to happen. Raise your hand. I'll wait. I see you. People are coming. People are coming. I'm going to say this again. For maybe some of our friends who weren't listening the first time. There's not an age limit on this. There's not an experience limit on this. There's a hurt. There's a feeling that, God, I'm stuck. I've been here 10 years. I've been stuck in this for 10 years. God, save me. If that's you, I don't know. I don't know you. Well, I know you. So, ask again. Do you want to be healed? Whether the healing comes today, comes tomorrow, or if it never comes, God's with you. God's here. He's coming. He's coming. Got it. Go. Hold on. physically dumb. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh. Come, dwell with us. Walk into our lives. God-man, walk into our lives and ask us, do we want to be healed? Thank you, Lord. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for entering into our paralysis, entering into where we are hurting, entering into our mess, our hurts, our afflictions. You're not the God that's far off. You're the God who steps in and meets us with it. I just imagine Jesus there with compassion to the man, asking him, do you want to be healed? Just because that's it. So now, it's super interesting, which I say a lot, and super cool that he shows us what these actions are going to get him. Nate, could you put the verses back on the screen, please, sir? Next one, please. This was the beginning of why the Pharisees were out to get him. This was the beginning. He made himself equal with God. Later on in John, keep reading John. John's pretty cool, okay? Jesus will be put to death. He will die, and he will be raised again. So, when I'm just all out of order, and y'all can be okay with this. When Jesus does this, he shows us how he heals us, how he made it right with God. If you're doing the communion, y'all can come up, please, and thank you. If you're serving communion, I can do it. I can do it. Oh, let's go. He snaps at folks. I like that. He snaps at his brother. I like that. So, on the night he was betrayed. Oh, what am I forgetting? I'm just going. I'm doing me. Okay. On the night he was betrayed, with his friends, he's having dinner. He gets down. He breaks the bread and says, "This is my body, broken for you. He doesn't say this, I'm adding this. I'm going to heal you with my death. I'm going to heal you with my body." At the same time, after dinner, he makes the wine and says, "This is my blood. Blood of a new covenant, of a new deal that we're going to have, that I have all of the power to heal you." And so, Hudson and Brock are holding symbols of God's love for you and how God wanted to heal you. We have gluten-free in the rectangular bin, regular bread on the circular platter. We have grape juice in the cup, and we also have grape juice in the little things that you take the little things if you're feeling sick, or dip it into a common cup isn't your thing. So, ecclesia. What? Oh, Lord's Prayer. Okay. I don't know that one by heart. Not yet. I do. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.